Hello, it's Dave Robinson from ProSound News Europe, and I'm here talking to James Gordon, who's the Managing Director of DiGiCo. Hello, James.
Hi Dave, you're right, mate.
I'm very good. Perhaps you could start by telling us what you've launched at the recent Pro Light and Sound show.
That's not going to take 5 minutes, but we can start. The first quarter this year has been quite busy for us at DiGiCo. We've launched 2 new consoles with the SD10 and the SD11. We've also launched 2 solutions-based products with the purple box, which is a MADI to optical converter, does 2 streams of MADI to optics, and will work with any MADI stream as well as obviously with our consoles. And we've also launched a new Dante interface for our rack frames that allows you to control and record our racks using a single Cat5 cable. So that's just for Pro Light and Sound. And then at NAB we're actually taking the company in a different direction and moving more into broadcast with 2 dedicated versions of the SD7 and the SD10. So we're making a push into on-air broadcast with our product portfolio.
Okay.
So an interesting and busy first quarter.
Yes, very much so. So let's talk about the 2 new desks. Where do they fit in the high roll?
Well, if we look at the SD10, which is behind my right-hand shoulder, basically the SD10 is designed to fit above an SD8 and get our product line closer to the market-leading SD7. So it allows a user to have more channels. It's up to 96 channels, with 12 channels being able to switch to stereo with no loss in processing. It's running at 96 kilohertz as standard, and you've got 48 assignable buses on top of the matrix and the master bus. So it's a fairly large format desk from us. Running at 96K, so the latency through the whole desk from stage back to stage with all the processing in between is actually just over 1 millisecond, so perfect for mixing monitors or front of house. A very high speed desk, in fact.
And the SD11, what about that? Which is
well,
bit of a,
the SD11 is a bit more of a, I think the 10 is probably, yeah, the 10 is something people would have probably expected from us, but the 11 is something a little bit different. A lot of our existing users have asked us to do a more compact rack mountable solution, but still maintain the flexibility and the audio quality that we have in the other products. And it was quite a challenge for the R&D team to deliver that at obviously a reasonable price point. And they've done a very impressive job with the SD11 actually. You can see here we've got a rack mount solution in the flight case with its own LED lighting. We do like to do a bit of lighting at DiGiCo. But the product also comes with some desktop end cheeks that bolt onto it. Very neat little desk, delivering all the flexibility and audio quality of our higher products, so it sounds exactly the same as an SD7. Using the same FPGA stealth technology that we launched back with the SD7 in sort of late 2007. So it really is, I guess, full circle for us to be able to deliver something at that price point that still sounds the same as, you know, a desk that's 10 times its cost. So big achievement for John and the guys, and an interesting market for us. It's going to bring DiGiCo to a lot of new users that will get the benefit of the flexibility, but more importantly, they will get to experience the audio quality of a floating point solution at that price point.
Okay. The 10, do you expect that to go into new markets, or is that really just
the 10 complements our existing markets, but the 10 is also the main launch pad into our broadcast side of things as well. We spent a long time studying broadcast, and there's a lot of good console manufacturers in the broadcast market. So it's not an easy one for us to come in and find an exact solution. So we spent a lot of time studying the market, and the 10B that is coming out at NAB, we feel offers something at a price point with the features and the flexibility of the higher end products. So it's an exciting time for us with that. Installation wise, because of its connectivity, the fact it can work with MADI like all of our products, and also lock into the 2nd generation optical system that we've been working with, you can now run 5 consoles and up to 14 racks on a system. So you've got a full audio network, a full backbone on the consoles basically now, which should allow us to do a lot of installation work and expand into that in a far greater way. You'll be able to share all of your inputs across multiple areas, and also the consoles can allocate outputs on the system as well. And you're running up to 448 channels of audio through that network, so it's a fairly big audio network at 96K as well. So, you know, it's at the highest sample rate. We've done all the numbers.
In this world of software-driven digital consoles, there's the opportunity for sound engineers to come along with a USB key and to bring in their programs, bring in their particular settings and scene changes for a
Yep, it's very true.
So, what about protection from viruses and Trojan horses and sort of things that?
Oh, what, for people coming in with deliberately or accidentally,
well,
Dave?
I wouldn't like to say that, but I'd like to think it's accidental.
Actually, we have an embedded system that's protected, so it's an interesting method we use. Every time you turn the desk on and off, it goes to a locked off partition of the console. So actually turning it off and on purges anything that anybody might have dropped into the Windows system. So we don't actually boot Windows in the traditional way. It's a more embedded system which is protected. So actually if you were to come in and load something into the system, although it might damage it at that moment, the moment you turned it off and on, it would wipe it straight out. Yeah, and that's a protected partition on the flash drive that you can't save to or anything. So it's actually on all of the SD range, it's the way it's protected. So you can't actually do that.
Okay. When would we expect to see both of these desks actually rolling out in production?
Well, the SD10's actually been shipping since just after the TPI Awards. Capital Sound in the UK have had one out on Katie Mellower, touring around Europe for at least the last 4 to 6 weeks. And there are some going into installations across the world and other tours as we speak. So the SD10 has been shipping for a while. We have an OB truck installation planned for later this month, beginning of May as well. So the 10 is well and truly out. We'll have shipped 45 pieces by the end of this month. So a lot more than we led people to believe at Frankfurt. The 11, the start manufacturing this month. All of our manufacturing still being done in the UK. So it's
Scotland.
Yeah, in Glen Rothes, very close to home. 20 years actually we've been based up there now. And we're hopefully going to ship between 150 and 200 pieces of that this month as well. So everything, we have a tradition that goes back 20 years in this company of when you show something at a show, you better make sure you're able to ship it. So we normally ship product within 6 to 8 weeks of launching it at a show. So,
It's a good way to operate.
Yeah, well, it breeds distributor and customer loyalty because they know that they're not seeing something that they're going to have to wait 6-9 months for. They know it's something that they can actually use. And that's, the importance of Frankfurt is it's at the beginning of the season. So for us launching product there, it can be actually specified. And, the moment this came out, the 10 came out at Frankfurt, we had a lot of high-profile engineers switching their specifications and saying, look, we're going to use one of these. Will I be able to get one for my tour starting in May and June? And the answer is, yeah, they will. So, yeah, you've got to look after it the right way.
Yeah.
So, a lot of shows. We're also, last year, we did a big change out with Lion King Worldwide as well. They moved a lot of their productions over, New York, London, Singapore, and their tours as well. Main reason for doing that was the footprint, the amount of space that our consoles take up compared to the historical analog consoles that they were using. And it freed up a good number of spaces that made the desk a viable accounting solution.
James, the SD11, the kind of dinky DiGiCo, if you like.
It's a novel way of calling it. Keep it in the box; it'll be worth more in 30 years.
You're appealing to the band that wants to move into digital console technology and wants something maybe used to an analog approach, but can make that transfer to digital without huge expense. What's the thinking there?
I think as I said, our thing with the SD11 is a lot of our existing customers have asked for, having experienced our other desks, they've asked for a smaller rack mountable solution that offers the same flexibility and audio quality. So our first thought was we've got this large customer base out there that is after a desk that can deliver what we can do with the SD11. But it has the added advantage of allowing new users, new bands to experience the difference in audio quality and the flexibility. So the hope is that actually we'll be able to deliver to people that maybe have never heard or used a DiGiCo console what a floating point system can sound like, how easy it can be to use, and the flexibility of the feature set. So we haven't really restricted any of the DiGiCo style from the product. It's still very much a DiGiCo console, it's just at a new price point, and I think that will excite people, especially actually more those that have never used one, because when you push up the faders and hear it, it will surprise a lot of people that have never used a DiGiCo platform before.
Okay, one last question. This fish connection, which you've made a little bit of a thing of, red snapper, Then you had, is it the ghost carp?
We've had lots of fish connotations in DiGiCo for a long time. I mean, to give you an idea, SD7 was actually catfish. That it ran for 3-4 years as the catfish project. SD8 was barramundi, 9 was red snapper, 10's ghost carp, and 11 was boxfish. I mean, basically John Stadius, who's been here 30 odd years, has 2 passions in life. One of them is audio and one of them is fishing. So when you're working on new projects in R&D, we create prototype names for them so that we can discuss them without anybody out of the company knowing exactly what we're talking about. We decided with the SD9 it was about time we had some fun with some of the names that we create. The best thing about the SD9 is if you look at the peak meter on every single channel, it's actually a little red fish as well. So it is
Oh, really?
it is, yeah. So have a look at an SD9 peak meter. It's a red fish. I guess it's the ability of being an independent company that we can have a bit of fun with the products we make. It makes the designers a bit more passionate about putting that extra value, that extra added detail into it. There's lots of, all our volume pots still go up to 11. We still get phone calls from engineers who mid-gig see that it goes to 11 and drop us an email saying, wow, that's amazing, you guys still have fun with that. It's everyone in the industry should know why they go to 11, so I'm not going to explain that.
Yes.
But that's why. So John codenames everything fish. It's crossed over into some of our products. The 9 is the one we've made the bigger deal out of, just because it was more to do with John and his mark of respect within the company. We wanted to show that he does mean a lot to us, and his team worked very hard to deliver what is an amazing range of products from a company in the UK.
James, thank you very much.